Hey guys, welcome back to, I guess, the second part of our Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. So if you've been following along, then you should have, hopefully, two little zombies. We have our player character all kind of set up, and the base character. So what we're going to be looking at today is the start of events, and we're also going to look at a few different types of variables and trying to manipulate variables and things like that. At the end of this lesson, hopefully, we should be able to kill the zombies. That's the plan. So, just for the moment, what we are going to do is just have a little look at events. So if I go into our first person character here, events are these squares with the reds. Sorry, maybe I don't know whether this is too basic or not. But these events pretty much are waiting for something. So let's say this input action here, primary action, it calls a little function here, which is it calls an event dispatcher, which is going to talk to a different actor to perform an action. We're going to look into that a little bit later. But let's try make our own, just for example. And if I right click, it's going to bring this up. And if I type keyboard R, oh, it's actually just does not want to come up for me. Let's scroll down to R. Cool. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to make the keyboard do something. So a big thing when you're coding, let's just drag out from this pin. We'll just type in print. This is a big helpful thing when you're coding. You can put in a little thing called print statement here. And hopefully when we press R, it's going to print this string here, hello. So these arrows here will go basically and call the next part of the event. So if you have a look at, let's say, these ones here, these are turn right with your left mouse button. So when your left mouse button changes, it's going to add control to your yaw input. And we'll get a little bit more complicated later on, but let's just keep this for the moment. So let's just test this out. Hit compile, save. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to hit R. And if you look at the top left of my screen, you're going to see hello. Beautiful. What do we think? Cool. So let's look at a little bit of let's look at something a little bit more complex, and let us right click, and we're going to get that health value that we set on the base character. So if we right click and we type get health, this is going to get the health value that our first person character has. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just bring it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. And let's add 50 to the value. So I dragged out from that. I hit the plus sign and I found add. And then this little value here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it. Okay, compile, save. Let's hit play. And I'm going to be printing that off. And if we hit R, now our health was 100. Now it's 150. But surely if I kept on increasing health, it would be 50. 150. And then you go 200, 250, 300. Why isn't that happening? That isn't happening because we need to actually set that value back to the health. So let us, similar to how we did get health, let's set health. And let's plug that in there. So we press R, we're going to set the health, and then we're going to print it off. And what we can do is we can either get the health and plug it in like this, or else what we'd be able to do is get health. And we've got to click that. These little notes here, these are just, think about them little kind of converters. So this is a float. print string is going to take a string, which is kind of like a text variable. So like if I was typing something out and it would be a string. Let's just hit play. Let's hit R, and as you can see, it is going up. Now, so far we have learned what an event is. We've learned how to chain events into the other little blueprints along the way, and we're able to set a value. So believe it or not, we're halfway there to actually dealing damage to our zombies here. So, it's great that we can increase our health, but we want to damage the zombies when a bullet hits it. So we already have code for that when the bullet hits the ball or the cube, that it's going to make the cube move. So let's go into the projectile here. And I know this is going to be a little bit more complex, but we're going to add to this. So, what this here is an event that when the bullet hits an object, it's going to do this thing called a branch, which is kind of like checking if a value is true or false. And it's going to check if it's simulating physics. Now, simulating physics we can talk about another time. It's basically, does gravity affect it? Is it being pulled down in the world, or is it kind of just floating in the world? As it currently is, our zombies are not simulating physics. We'll get to that again. So our zombies are not going to be simulating physics. So maybe we can pull this off here, and let's just print string, and if it hits something that's not simulating physics, let's print out what it's hitting. So I'm going to drag out from other, this one here, other, display name, print string, and let's just compile, save, and let's just try shooting that zombie. Zombie red, zombie green. Oh, it also hit this cube here, but we'll get rid of that in a second. Right, what we are going to do is we're getting that zombie. We're printing its name, but instead of actually printing just its name, let's actually get that character. So this is going to be something called a cast. When we get a reference to something, which is going to be this object that's being passed through and that we're printing, what we can do is we can cast to it. So we can go cast to. Now we could go b_zombie, but let's go b_character. And we're doing this because back to inheritance, if we're casting to b_character, we can write this code once and it will work for every single child of b character. So we have zombies now, but let's say we made a different form of character. I don't know. Zombie dogs, who knows? That could be completely different to zombies. This would work as long as those zombie dogs were a child of B character. Have a sip of my cup of tea. Now, when we cast to this B character, we're going to want to call a new event. So let's go into our B character, or else you can come back into it by just clicking into it. Let's go to the event graph just here, and let's make a new event. I'm going to right click. And this one isn't going to be like an input like we did with the S key. We're going to type in custom event, add custom event. And this one we are going to do, type in take damage. Now for any veterans of Unreal Engine, they're going to say, oh, but there's a different damage function. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to keep this simple for anyone who's watching this that has used Unreal Engine before. So, our take damage function, what we are going to do is we're going to do similar to adding our health, except we are going to take away from our health. So let's get the health like before, and then let's take away some health. So let's do 50 again. So if we hit something, we're going to take away 50 health, and then we are going to set the health. And then how about we print that off? Oh, sorry. Boom, boom, boom. I did that wrong. You can, if you ever do something like this and the wrong pin goes in, hold Alt and click, and then we're just going to drag that back in. Cool. That was coming up as duration, if anyone was wondering. So you can choose how long these go up for. So we're nearly there. We can nearly kill a zombie. Come in here, hopefully. Oh, that's not working. That's embarrassing. What have I done? Oh, sorry, apologies, guys. We actually need to call that function. So if we take this cast, we want to call a function that is in this B character. So let's drag out a B character. And I think we call it take damage. Yeah, so take damage. Right, and so connect these up. Let's hit compile, save, and I think we've compiled, saved everything. So now we're going to call that event in the zombies. Let's shoot, hit a zombie, and oh, you see that print? Oh, his health's gone to 0, so you've got the prints up on the left-hand side, top left-hand side corner. So he's going to go below 100. So when he goes below 100, we want to destroy that actor. So if we have a look at the... forgot that. If we have a look in this BP projectile, we have this lovely little event that's being called a destroy actor. So that is going to actually destroy self. So that's going to destroy the projectile after we've hit a box. But after we hit a zombie, we also want to destroy the projectile. So let's copy that and let's paste it in here, and we'll destroy actor. That's going to destroy the projectile when we hit a zombie. Now let's use the exact same thing in, oops, sorry, I picked up the wrong zombie. Let's go to B underscore zombie. Oh no, B underscore character. I'm just messing up today, haven't I? Now we've seen a branch before, we haven't used one, but let's do one now. So we can drag out of here, type in branch, and again we're going to check a value. So if it's a true or if it's false, and what we're going to do is we are going to check if health, so get health, and then we're going to do is less than symbol or equal to 0. So if he's at 0 health or less, we are going to destroy actor, and we're going to leave that to self. Now let's just hit play for the moment, pick up our gun, shoot, and this should kill him. Hey, he's gone. What do we think? How are we doing? We think we're good? I think that's pretty cool. Right, that's great. So one little thing about calling events like that, destroy actor. It is pretty important that when you're doing your references that you pick the right one. So just an example, we have take damage here. We also have this destroy actor. So destroy actor will always destroy the actor or the character that the event has been called in. So for example, this is in the projectile, so we're just going to destroy the projectile. Just be careful about when you're kind of plugging destroy actor into other when you're plugging other actors into that, because if we, let's say, destroy the actor here, oh, we need to plug this in here again. Sorry, this is actually just going to keep the ball's going to stay alive, and it's going to just kill a zombie. See. Anyway, just something to keep in mind, just as a kind of general rule of thumb. Destroy actor will 99.9% of the time always be called in the actor itself, unless if you're doing some form of a garbage disposal, but that's a little bit more complicated. Cool. So with that, we've learned a good bit. So we're going to do one or two little bits and pieces in terms of variables. We're going to add a variable in our BP rifle. So let's go into that. And in our rifle, what we are going to do, I know this might look a little bit complicated, but we're going to keep it simple. We are going to add a new variable, And I'm going to call this magazine current. And it's not going to be an integer. It's going to... Oh, sorry. It's not going to be a Boolean. Apologies. It's going to be an integer. I am so professional. What can I say? So within our rifle, we're going to take this little event of on fire projectile. We're going to add a little bit of logic to it. Let's just drag it out here just for the moment. And similar to how we checked the health for the zombie, we are going to drag out, and we are going to do a branch, and we are going to check if the get magazine count, if it is greater than 0, we are going to spawn a bullet. Now, by default, if we click on this, we can set a default value. We're going to set 5. So he's going to have 5 bullets. And when we do try to shoot, we are going to get the magazine. We are going to take away 1. Let's just subtract 1. We can do other stuff later on. And then let's just set magazine current. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's plug this in. So, hit play and pick up my gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No more bullets are pressing, and I'm pressing my key. Cool. Let's actually just add a little bit of fun to this. I'm going to just move this in here. We are actually going to we're going to set a new variable within the the first person character. So not only are we going to set the first person character, we are going to say which gun the first person character has. So let's go to the event graph. Let's create a new variable, and I'm going to call this weapon. Now, and this is going to change the variable from not a Boolean or any of these. We're actually going to type in BP underscore rifle, and we're going to get a object reference. Hit compile, save. Now, when we go to back to our BP rifle, when we set the player reference, we are going to drag out of here, and we're going to search for weapon, and we're going to set weapon. Drag these into each other, so that works. And we are going to set the weapon to this weapon itself. So drag this down here, and we're going to type self. Beautiful. Right. So the target who is going to actually perform the action is going to be the first person character, and we're going to pass through a value, which is going to be this weapon. That's how you can kind of set a value for a different actor. Okay, so after we've set the weapon, if we go to the blueprint first person character, what we can do is let's get rid of this little function here, or maybe we can move all of this down here. Let's just click it down here. Let's right click, and let's just do keyboard C. Yeah, C. So whenever we press C, what we can do is we can heal ourselves. How about that? And there you have a lovely little thing to heal yourself. But for R, what we're going to do is we're going to get our weapon, and we're going to call a function or an event in weapon. Let's go back to our BP rifle. Let's add a new custom event. And we're going to call this reload. Compile, save. So when this is function is called. We are let's just keep this really simple. We're going to have a little delay of let's say 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds will be lovely. So delay basically just means, you know, wait 2 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're going to set our magazine count back to 5. Now this is going to be a nice, cheap and cheerful way of doing it. So we're going to call that event. So we are going to drag out from weapon and we're going to type reload. Now we don't need to cast to weapon or to BP rifle, because we actually are going to have the variable set already. So let's go control, compile, save, hit play, pick up the weapon, shoot. We can't shoot anymore. We're going to hit reload. Wait a second. Shoot. And I'm going to reload. Beautiful. And we've killed the zombies. We have learned how to reload our gun. Nice and simple. Maybe we'll come back to that and we'll get a little bit more logic on it. But for the moment, I think that is pretty good, I guess. Now, for the next lesson, what I think we are going to do is we're going to get the zombies to start fighting back. How about that? How does that sound? We'll get the zombies to start fighting back. So we are going to get the zombies. Oh, missed a jump. We're going to get the zombies to be able to see us. And when they do, they are going to chase us. When they catch up with us, they are going to kill us. We're also going to add another little bit of AI to it, so that the zombies will do, you know, zombie things, and they're going to wander around. So it's going to be a really, really simple kind of crash course into zombie AI or basics of AI anyway. So I hope that you will join me in that next episode. So today we did a little bit on events, we did a little bit on variables, and also how to set variables, and even how to set variables in different blueprints, not just the blueprints that they're in themselves. Let's do one more reload. Beautiful. Right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, stay awesome.